bakeries, such as breads, and they'll feed them industrial grain and corn that they have sprayed in a, antibiotic or pesticides, and you might have issues with your GI system just because everything has been so heavily sprayed. But that's off the topic. But let's go back to the pigs. Pigs are omnivores, which means that they eat everything, and pigs were put here so that they can clean up the earth. Yah has animals that are here to keep the earth clean, and the pig is one of them. If you just do a general Google search, you will see that pigs, they eat byproducts from human food industries, and I already said rejected bakery products. And wild pigs, they eat they eat fruits, they eat vegetables, but they also eat reptiles as well. So whether a pig is farm raised or whether it is wild, pigs have a nature. Their nature is to scavenge and to clean the earth. They eat dead carcasses, y'all. Pigs also eat feces. And sometimes people would have the pigs around because they would eat human feces. And they also eat the feces probably of each other and other animals as well. So think about that the next time you eat that slice of pepperoni pizza. Even though they have these pork chops, they look good in that pack, but what exactly did that pig eat? Because they're not going to tell you on that label that, oh, this pig ate some dung or he ate some feces from another animal. The people who package that and send it off to the grocery store, that's not going to be on the package because they understood that if they told you that, they could not sell that pig. So their natural role in the environment is not for human consumption. Our Father, being an all-knowing Father, being omniscient, right? He's good. He never changes. The Word says every good gift and every perfect gift comes down from above, from the Father of lights, in whom there's no variableness nor shadow of turning. That means that He does not change. His requirements towards us do not change. And even the pig is considered a good gift when he keeps his ministry. So as long as he's able to do what it is that Yah has put him here to do, he's serving his good purpose, and that's to keep the earth clean, to keep the ground clean. Yah never made pigs to be consumed. He didn't make the pig so that we can eat pork rinds and chicharrones and pork skins. That's not what they were made for. And I used to tear me a pig up, and I'm just going to keep it real. And I started eating pig years ago, and it wasn't because of the dietary laws, because I wasn't practicing them then. It's simply because, one time I ate a pork roast, and I probably could have gone to glory. My head was hurting so bad. So I stopped eating it because I had a bad headache because I had been eating them pork roasts too long, too much. But they have a purpose, y'all. And again, they are considered nature's cleanup crew. They break down dead organic matter in their environment. And in some historical contexts, pigs were used as garbage disposals for human and animal waste. And again, it was feces. And they will eat dead human bodies. And I had looked at this, and there was an actual legitimate case, and there was this farmer, I think he was in Ohio. It was like 1921, or don't get me wrong on the year. Anyway, his family had not heard from him in days. So when they went to check on him, come to find out, they said that the man had a heart attack. And while he had that heart attack, I guess he had fell into the pen where he had kept his pigs, and the pigs literally ate this man. And they found like the man's dentures. So they can eat a lot of stuff, but from what I read, they can't eat teeth. They can eat some bones though. And there was other instances of, a woman that said that she had like a seizure, and she fell where she was, and her pigs, by instinct, their instinct is to eat flesh. They started to eat away at this lady who had probably cared for them for years. We want to eat a pig. What the word say about pigs? Don't cast your pearls among what?
Swine.
Or what they going to do? That's just what the word says. And we got to be real. The word says, don't cast your pearls among swine unless they would turn around and they would trample you. So pigs have a certain nature, y'all. Pigs will trample you, and pigs, my brothers and sisters, they will eat you. And again, they will eat a dead or a decaying body. They don't care if it was the person that came and fed them grain, or the person that came and gave them a Twinkie or a ding dong. If you fall where you are, those pigs are going to tear you up. Mm-hmm. So that again is their ministry, is to keep the earth clean. Mm-hmm. So if we say that our Father is all-knowing, my brothers and sisters, if we say that he has made everything, and everything has a ministry or a purpose, now that you see what the purpose or the ministry of this unclean animal is, I want you to ask yourself, on this morning, would your Father, who's all-knowing and who never changes, and who has declared something unclean right here, do you think is unclean now? Since Jesus died on the cross, I can just do whatever I want. Do you think it's okay now to eat the pig? Do you think that our Father has changed his view on the pig simply because Yhwh gave up the ghost and resurrected and now sits at his right hand? We better rest assured when Yhwh sat at the right hand, it was not written, you can now eat unclean animals. So ask yourself this morning, is this something that your Father wants you to consume? Because if he knows everything and he does things for our good, if he told us what was unclean and it was for our good, do you think that you should continue to eat that pepperoni pizza, or that Wright's thick cut bacon, or the down home smoked sausage? Do you think it's okay to eat that pork chop? So going on to verse 9, the word says, of all the creatures living in the water or of the seas, and the streams you may eat, any that have fins and scales. So if it's something that is in the sea, y'all, if it has to have a fins and scales in order for us to eat it. If it lacks either one, it's not clean. He says, but all creatures in the seas or streams that do not have fins and scales, whether among all the swarming things or among all the other living creatures in the water, you are to regard as unclean. And since you are to regard them as unclean, you must not eat. What they say, Joseph? In verse 11, you must not eat what?
Of their flesh.
Yeah. In my translation, NIV, it says you must not eat their meat. You must regard their carcasses as unclean. Anything living in the water that does not have fins and scales is to be regarded as unclean by you. That's the calamari, that's the octopus, that's the squid and the mussels. That's that crab dip that I used to love to eat. That's also the lobster. That's also the crawfish that people love to suck the head because they say that's where the best flavoring is. Yep. And for the people that's going to fight me tooth and nail and that would throw a rock at me if I were in their presence, that also includes the catfish. That also includes the shrimp, my brothers and sisters, because according to the word, they are unclean. And being that they are unclean, they have a specific purpose or a specific ministry. Some of you are watching right now, and I know you love to go to that all-you-can-eat catfish night, or, Friday is usually Fish Friday, and a lot of places will have catfish plates on sale. But according to the word, catfish does not have fins and scales, so it is unclean, but it does have a ministry, and the reason why it's unclean is because it's considered the garbage can. It's considered by nature, it is a scavenger. That means catfish will eat anything. Catfish, and also that swai, when they try to pass the catfish off, or the swai off as catfish, some people say sway, they taste a little differently, but nonetheless they are bottom feeders, scavengers and omnivores. They'll eat plants and algae. Catfish also eat mice and baby ducks. and decomposing organic matter.
Yep.
Hmm?
Rotten.
Yeah, they love to eat stuff that's rotting or decaying. That's their ministry. God put them in the water so that they can keep the waters clean. He did not put a catfish in the water so we can get them out the water and put them in some Louisiana fish fry and deep fry them till they crispy and dry on the inside. Yeah, I used to like mine like that. Dry. I hated a catfish that was wet when you bit into it. And then eat it with your hot sauce and your tartar sauce. That's not why he made catfish, my brothers and sisters. That is not the ministry. Their ministry is not to feed us or to serve us in that way or to give us nourishment. They are to keep the waters clean. And what I found interesting is that I think it's around India. There's what's called a goonch catfish, and these catfish they literally eat human remains. They scavenge on dead bodies. Sometimes when people would have a ritual and they want to bury somebody, not really bury them, but they would take a dead body as part of their ritual and toss the body into the water. And these gooch catfish, they would eat the body of that person. So catfish, again, they are considered a cleanup crew. So my brothers and sisters, knowing that catfish are the cleanup crew and that they eat decaying matter, dead, rotten, decaying matter, I want you to ask yourself the next time you go buy that catfish, because it's on sale for $4.99 a pound or whatever, do you think your Father, who knows all things and knows what's best for you and warned you what to stay away from, do you think it's good for you, even though He has declared it ungood? Do you think it's right for you to declare it good? If He has said it's unclean, do you think it's good for you to declare it unclean by putting it into your mouth? Do you think it's good for you to speak against what He has already spoken? Do you think it's good for you to be disobedient in that regard? Because we like to talk about a lot of other sin, but let's keep it real with this right here. We are not obeying His dietary laws, my brothers and sisters. We are sinners. We are sinning against Him. So the next time, and I just want us to look at it like this, because a lot of times we have illnesses and sickness in our body. When we see these animals, and let's say they're eating people or dead, decomposing bodies, they eat all the toxic human waste, and you take this into your body, do you think you're going to be in good health? If they have eaten something that was dead or decaying or rotting, they were eating rotten flesh, the next time you go and get that catfish from the store, do you think that the farmer who raised the catfish, that they're going to tell you that these were scavengers and bottom feeder and they were feeding on dead things or decaying things that was in that so-called pond, that man-made pond? They're not going to tell you that. So you're eating an unclean animal and you don't even know what that animal has eaten. You're eating the cleanup crew. Something that can harm your body. And again, our Father knows best. That's why He told us what things we should avoid. And I know if people had a whip and they saw me, I'm just being silly. If I preached against this shrimp, a lot of people would just be extremely mad because I'm telling them, look, y'all doesn't want you to eat that shrimp scampi. He don't want you to go to the crab fest and eat all the crab you can and dip it in that good golden juicy butter. That's not what He wants for you, because even that crab and that lobster that you love to eat and those snow crab legs that you like to get when they are on sale, according to the Word, these things have a ministry and they are also filter feeders. And they also their ministry is to keep the waters clean. Even the shrimp. You never saw when Jesus fed the multitude. You never saw where He fed them catfish. He never fed them crab. He didn't give them lobster. That stuff was unclean then in the Old Testament, and it was unclean even in the New Testament. It's still unclean because our Father declared it unclean even in the very beginning. So who are we to declare something clean when He has already said is unclean, and therefore I don't want you to eat it. A lot of things, if it's toxic for you, he'll tell you your body is going to start showing signs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have gout because they love to eat that shrimp. They love that crab. They love that crawfish. And even though it hurts them so bad, baby, they'll just rather take an allopurinol, an extra dose of medicine, even though they can barely open their fingers up. They can't even put a sheet on their toe without their toe feeling like it's on fire and it's going to fall off. But they'll rather eat a shrimp and some tartar sauce rather than to be in good health. Even though your body is rejecting these things. Oh Lord, I just take an extra cholesterol pill. Even though some of this stuff is full of cholesterol, make your cholesterol go through the roof. And that's Yah's way of telling us, look, you need to leave it alone. But we don't want to, because we just love to talk about the blood, and we love to talk about what the blood of Yhwh did. But let's keep it real. When you go to the doctor and you want to see what's wrong with you, they draw blood work to let you know what's wrong. So sometimes you could just be eating the wrong thing and it's showing up in your blood. So there is proof, my brothers and sisters, in the blood. Shrimp, they are scavengers and omnivores. They eat plankton and algae and dead and decaying organisms. They eat feces as part of their natural, the word says, just doing research, they eat feces as part of their natural behavior as detrivores, meaning they eat things that is decaying. And they are considered, again, the cleanup crew in the aquarium and even in a natural habitat. That's probably why some people have shrimp in their aquarium, because they keep the aquarium clean. And they eat dead and decaying matter, and they help reduce pollution. And they consume parasites from other fish. This is part of their ministry. They keep the water clean. They were never made, my brothers and sisters, for human consumption. So even though somebody tells you to take out the vein that has all of the feces in it, and oh, it's good to eat. No, it's not good to eat then, just because you've removed the waste. According to the word, they are still unclean. These are Yah's word and not mine. So if you are mad at anyone, you're not mad at me, you're mad at him, because he is the one who authored the scriptures. Take it up with him, my brothers and sisters. The word says these are the birds you are to regard as unclean, and not eat because they are unclean. The eagle, the vulture, the black vulture, the red kite, and any kind of kite, any kind of raven, any kind of black kite, the horned owl, the screech owl, the gull, any kind of hawk, the little owl, the cormorant, the great owl, the white owl, the desert owl, the osprey, the stork, any kind of herring, the hoopoe, or what's that? Hoopoe, and the bat. This is the NIV.
What verse?
This is verse 19.
Okay.
The lapwing.
Stork, the heron, lapwing.
Yeah.
Bat.
So according to the word, the birds that we can eat, we saw where he gave them quail. Gave them a lot of quail because they were just so ungrateful. Gave them so much quail, the stuff started coming out their nose and started stinking. You can eat chicken. You can eat. I know a chicken hate to see me coming because I will eat some chicken. And also turkey. These are things that you can eat. And this said ducks. I'm assuming you can. What I was looking at last night. But I know for certain you can eat chicken and quail and turkey. What he does not want us to eat are predatory birds and scavengers. If you look at these birds in this list, these are things, they have a certain purpose. They have a ministry, y'all. We have a purpose, and our purpose is to obey the Father. So if he said, look, I don't want you eating these things, we are simply to just obey him. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Obedience any day of the week is better than being sick, bringing sickness on ourselves, simply because we choose not to obey his dietary laws. He gave us these laws for our good, right? Because even, what's Paul say about the word? But even Paul was a law keeper. And people will take these scriptures out of context in the New Testament, and they will say, "Oh, that's not what he mean." People were telling the believers, or they were condemning believers for obeying the dietary laws. And when Yhwh said, "It's not what goes into a man that defiles him," or I'll have to look at that, but what he was talking about was eating food with the main subject was eating food with unclean or unwashed hands. That was what they were talking about. And also what he was talking about, because they knew what foods to eat. They know that Yhwh was not talking about them eating pigs, because they had pigs back in the day. So it was about eating clean hands, because the Jews had some Jews made up a law, a man-made law, that you should wash your hands a certain way before you eat. And if you don't, because there was no law that said you had to wash your hands before you eat. That was a man-made law. And so they were trying to put that law on people, say, "Oh, if you don't wash your hands before you eat, you are unclean." And Yhwh said, "It's not what goes into a man that defiles him. By you eating food with unwashed hands, that don't make you unclean. That does not defile you. But it's what comes out of your mouth that defiles you. The lies that come out your mouth defile you. Cursing your father defiles you, because the mouth speaketh from the abundance of the heart. That is what defiles a man, not eating with unwashed or unclean hands." Because again, there was no law. If you look in the word, there is no law that says you have to wash your hands before you eat. That was a man-made law. So in Romans 7:13, because even Paul was a law-abiding believer. He said, "Follow me as I followed Yhwh. Obey me as I obey him. Keep the law as I keep the law, as Yhwh kept the law." He said, "So then the law is holy, and the commandment is holy, righteous," hallelujah, "and good." The dietary law is holy, my brothers and sisters, because if it was not holy, Yhwh would never have said it. Because as a matter of fact, he said in Leviticus 11:44, "I am the Lord your God. Consecrate yourselves and be holy, because I am holy." Now this is still him talking to them about the dietary laws. Holiness is about us obeying him, about us being consecrated unto him. If he says come out of the world, that means come out of the world, even in the things that you eat. We quick to run out of the world in the way that we dress. Sometimes I wasn't quick, but we stop dressing a certain way and we stop going certain places. We do that because we understand that it should not be associated with holiness. But when he tells us stop eating that bacon, or stop eating the down home smoked sausage, or stop eating that pepperoni, stop eating that ham sandwich. And I know Thanksgiving is coming up and you want to eat that spiral ham with the cherries on top and the pineapple. But he said, don't. He says, "I am the Lord your God. Consecrate yourselves and be holy, because I am holy. Do not make yourselves unclean by any creature that moves along the ground. I am Yhwh, who brought you up out of Egypt to be your Elohim. Therefore be holy," hallelujah, "because I am holy." And this, my brothers and sisters, is still in Leviticus chapter 11. If the word says, if we can agree that our Father does not change, because the word says that he does not change. James 1:11. Again, it says, "Every good gift and every perfect gift comes down from above, from the Father of lights, in whom there is no variableness nor shadow of turning." If he does not change, do you think that his perspective or the way that he views unclean animals has changed? Yes and no. Because if the way that he has